I heard about it on NPR when I was coming in. They had just left the cabin.
All right.
For a non-government, non-military.
Private enterprise.
Yeah.
There was a billionaire that opened up the door and jumped out.
Well, he's the one that did, there was two of them.
Okay.
The lady went out who was the medical, I guess, doctor on the thing, and the guy that paid for the flight went out. But they went up last time. They raised something.
We're live.
200 million for St. Jude's.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. We good to go?
Yeah.
All right. I would like to call to order the Finance and Administration Committee. May we have a roll call
Mr. Erickson?
Here.
Mr. Beggs?
Here.
Mr. Walker?
Here.
Mr. Hardy?
here? I would ask for a motion to approve the meeting minutes from August 22nd, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Beggs, support by Walker. Any additions, corrections, questions? All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on. I'll ask for a motion to approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Erickson, support by Walker. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Is there any public comment at this time for Finance and Administration Committee? Moving on. This is for Curtis Burdette, Oceana County Economic Alliance request for approval of the EPA Community Change Grant Partnership Agreement.
Tracy might be talking to him.
Let's,
I'm sorry, what?
Tracy isn't here, so I don't know where is it.
why don't we come back to it?
Okay, let's circle back to that. Well,
We all saw the prices that they had. They had a substantially reduced price on it, and I think we should just award it to the lower bid.
yeah,
The Oceana County business, just,
yeah.
you know, thanks to the administrator's office for reaching out on the pricing of it.
Right. I concur with that. And then consideration again of the bid for seal coating at the airport.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Superior
Low
Film.
bid.
As well as the building department remodeling quotes.
Yep.
Huge difference from
Yeah.
58,000 to 23,000
Yeah.
to 35,000 in the middle. The actual ones will be in the resolution when we adopt it. You know, they will. But we had 3 bids for all of it. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that is,
Putting out some wires.
Very good. Thank
I'm
you.
gonna circle back real quick to request for approval of the EPA Community Change Grant Partnership Agreement.
Okay, so, Curtis did give this to me, I thought he'd be here today, but if you recall, Rothbury Steel had come in, they were talking about, collaborating with the county for an EPA grant, and then this, the board had recommended that they come back with this agreement so that we could get that signed. And,
So it's a brownfield redevelopment board who's handling this, and they want agreement with the county to handle the financial part like we have for the Pentwater Bicycle Trail, the Hart Montague rebuilding trail, and the park. Is that correct,
correct,
Tracy? So it'd be a similar.
yes.
Tracy, we went through the film, quote, the airport code, coding and the building department remodel quotes. So we'll go right down to the administrative review of select claims.
Okay, and those claims have been provided to you? You did the building remodel too?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes,
all right,
We agreed with the low bid
the
on
low bids.
perfect. So there's nothing on the claims. And then with regards to the administrator's report, my apologies for not having anything written out, but it's been, mostly budget. That's what I'm working on. I'm working through budget stuff right now, and so that is consuming a lot of my time right now, with the exception of, getting Dave Sanderson, on board and getting him going in the right direction. He did have the opportunity to work with Brian last week for a little while. And our employee picnic that we had, my husband came and cooked hot dogs for everybody, and so we were happy to have those that could attend. Other than that,
Can we back up to one?
Sure.
On claims for payment, the indigent defense, we had $1,996.50 for Delman Investigations for forensic investigating. Did we approve that before? Is that the one that the prosecutor asked us to do before?
Yeah, I believe it is. That's the way I did. And it was up to
A couple, 3,000.
3,000, maybe it was 3,000. We approved it up to,
The only reason I say that is it seems like indigent defense is kind of a different place to have that from.
that's separate.
Different.
Yes, so the one that the prosecutor came and asked for, that is, paid for out of their budget.
Okay.
So this particular one is, an invoice that came directly from, Karen Moore's.
Is that a reimbursable expense coming from the indigent defense fund from the
Yeah.
state?
That is part of yes, that is part of their fund.
Okay. I've never seen one where they've done expert witness or forensic, investigations yet before. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
moving on, department head reports. Hearing none, we will move on. Any public comment for Finance and Administration Committee? All right, we will adjourn Finance and Administration Committee.
Boy, Bob, we did pretty good with time, didn't we? Look at
Boy,
that.
you were out of the room for a minute and
That's why it went so quick.
boy,
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
that's funny.
Those were made very simple for us. When I read those,
Quotes.
the quotes and
Yep.
what they were there.
Well, like we said, there's more out there. We got the low bid on one of them, right, from looking further.
Is it, everybody got their computers online and everything? I ask that you stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and welcome to the board members and our guests. And at this time, I'd like to call a regular board meeting for September 12, 2024 of the Oceana County Board of Commissioners to order. And ask that the clerk do a roll call, please.
Mr. Erickson?
Here.
Mr. Beggs?
Here.
Mr. Hardy?
Here.
Mr. Walker?
Here. Approval of the minutes from the August 22nd meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll support.
Moved by Mr. Beggs, supported by Mr. Hardy. Any questions or corrections or comments on the minutes? All in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Conflict of interest disclosure regarding the agenda items. Any board members have a conflict? Hearing none. Changes to the agenda as presented. Are there any changes?
2024-96,
Yes.
no action, and that is the animal control ordinance.
Yes.
Okay. Any other ones?
What about
Dream.
2024-99?
Yep,
If you want that, let's go over to budget.
yep, after
We'll
budget,
refer that to budget.
yep.
Yeah, okay.
Any others? Thank you. With the two approved changes to the agenda, can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Moved by Mr. Erickson, support by Mr. Beggs. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment, though. Is there any public comment at this time? Hearing none. Mr. Erickson, the courthouse window film.
Mr. Walker, I make motion 2024-91 to approve the quote from Firehouse Films Window Tinting for filming the south side windows of the county building as requested by the Security Committee in the amount of $2,699.32, with funds to be paid from the Public Improvement Fund.
I'll support.
Moved by Mr. Erickson, support by Mr. Beggs. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes. Mr. Hardy, County Airport Parking Seal Coat.
Motion 2024-92 to approve the seal coat for the county airport parking lot in the amount of $2,963 from West Michigan Seal Coat, with funds to be paid from the Public Improvement Fund.
Do we have a support?
I'll support.
Moved by Mr. Hardy, support by Mr. Beggs. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes. Mr. Beggs, Code Red IPAWS Memorandum of Understanding Agreements.
I'd like to make motion 2024-95 to approve the memorandum of understanding agreement with Muskegon and Mason counties to assist with Code Red alerts, Code Red and IPAWS alerts if necessary, and allow the chair to sign.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Beggs, support by Mr. Erickson. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes. Mr. Erickson, we're gonna pass on the animal ordinance.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hardy, courthouse security contract.
Make motion number 2024-97 to approve a 3-year contract with H Security and Investigation LLC from January 1, 2025 through December 31st, 2027 for the purpose of courthouse security, with a contract price for 2025,
$89,820,
$89,820,
and then $92,520.
$92,520 for 2026 and 2027.
Thank you, Mr. Hardy. Do we have a support?
Support.
Thank you, Mr. Erickson. Moved by Mr. Hardy, support by Mr. Erickson. Any discussion or comments? During the meeting, I had asked what the difference was on the base contract and from last year and the base contract. If we had chosen that, it was less than a $2,000 increase. So it doesn't affect us, but
Less than inflation.
we are very fortunate, having seen the prices that different counties have got for private security. We're very fortunate where our prices are. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes. Mr. Beggs, sale of surplus property.
I'd like to make motion 2024-98 to allow the sale by closed bid of the 2007 Zodiac 17-foot inflatable boat, model number 500 SRMN, with E-Tex motor and trailer, with the request for bids to be posted publicly for 10 business days to be submitted to the Sheriff's Department.
Do we have a support?
I'll support. Ernie.
Moved by Mr. Beggs, support by Mr. Hardy. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Beggs,
Yes.
Mr. Hardy,
Yes.
Mr. Erickson,
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes. Mr. Erickson, once again, Drain Commissioner, we're gonna refer that to the budget workshop.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hardy, Construction Board of Appeals reappointments.
Yes, motion number, twenty twenty-four 100 to reappoint to the Construction Board of Appeals Bill Adams, Mike Blackmore, with their terms to expire on July 31st, 2028, John Moore, Gary Phillips, Kevin Erickson, and Gary Langford to expire on July 31st, 2029.
Thank you, Mr. Hardy. Do we have a support?
I'll support it.
Thank you, Mr. Beggs. Any other discussion? For the public, some of these people will be hearing appeals for electrical, some for plumbing, and some for building, construction. All of them have their own expertise and their license in the field that they'll be hearing them from. So, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hardy,
Yes.
Mr. Beggs.
Yes.
Mr. Erickson.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes. Realize that did not need to be roll call, but,
Okay.
Mr. Beggs, grant partnership agreement.
I'd like to make motion 2024-101 to approve the EPA Community Change Grant Partnership Agreement with the Ladder Community Center, a 501c3 for the purpose of applying for, and if awarded, completing an Environmental Protection Agency Community Change Grant for the construction of a community center.
Thank you, Mr.
Support.
Beggs. Mr. Erickson, support?
Yes,
Moved
sir.
by Mr. Beggs, support by Mr. Erickson. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Beggs,
Yes.
Mr. Erickson.
Yes.
Mr. Hardy.
Yes.
Mr. Walker.
Yes. Mr. Hardy, payment of claims.
Oh, I got a
Building
remodel.
remodel.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Walker,
Yes, Mr. Erickson.
Building Department remodel. This would be at our District 10 building. I make motion 2024-102 to approve the quote with Blackbird Construction in an amount not to exceed $31,000 for the remodel of the conference room at the District 10 Health Department for the purpose of the relocation of the county building department.
Thank you, Mr. Erickson. Do we have a support?
I'll support. Hardy.
Thank you, Mr. Hardy. Any discussion? We will be looking at a fee for a dedicated fiber optics line to go from that building to this building. The proposal that Tracy just got for that, and this is similar to what we have with the Griswold Street building. The proposal for the installation is $38,220, and annual cost is $3,450. Let's bring that back as a motion, when the construction starts, we'll do that, I believe that should be a separate motion and a separate, or Tracy, do you prefer to do it now, or would you want it, what's the pleasure of the board members?
What do we have in the building now with the health department?
It has to be a line from there to here.
But they're using TrueStream or something?
No merit,
They've got, mhm.
yes, but there's additional fiber that needs to be run for, specifically for county.
It's a dedicated line that goes.
I
from there
remember
to
when
here,
we did
and
Griswold.
They have to do the construction and put it in.
We can make a motion to add that now if you want. I think it might simplify it and get it done a little faster.
And then it might be online by the time that they're wiring the building up.
That's what I'm thinking.
And they can coordinate it with anything that they need to do in that building,
Internally,
when the
yeah.
contractors are there.
Yeah.
So, let's approve, if we're done with discussion, let's do a roll call vote on the building department remodeling, and then let's do another motion for the fiber optics.
So would the fiber optics be 2024-102 104.
Correct.
And is that quote from, is that
Merit.
Merit,
Merit? Okay.
Merit Network Security Community.
But this is necessary for our systems to work for the building department there and anything else we put in that building in the future.
Could be almost, could be.
38 grand
could
is
be
less
big.
than I thought it might be when you said what it was.
I think that Griswold Street was in someplace in the 20s, and we look at the distance between them, you know, the linear footage. And they have the Hart River, or the
Everything's.
river and lake, Pellwater River and the lake. So let's take a roll call vote on number 2024-02 for the building department remodeling.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes. Mr. Hardy, do you want to do
Sure.
2024-104?
104 for connecting District 10 Health Department to this facility with fiber optics cable in the amount of $38,220 from Merit, and also is the 3,400 annual
3,450, yes. It's the,
and 3,450 annual fee for continuing use.
And
That'd
we
be a
have,
motion, I'm sorry, motion for 2024-104.
Support.
moved by Mr. Hardy, support by Mr. Erickson. Normally, we wouldn't do this so quickly, but they just came in and it makes a lot of sense to get them done and
Same
coordinate.
time, I agree.
Get them done and coordinate them.
I'll be honest, that's one expense I didn't really realize would be necessary for this move.
But, yeah.
But, and I also look at the high bid we had to remodel it.
Right.
And we did the fiber optics and the remodeling both for what the one bid would have cost us.
Well, that sets us up for the future.
Yes.
You know,
It's a gorgeous facility, and you know, if we end up with other uses, alternate uses,
Any other discussion on 2024-04? Yeah.
that would also, we would be able to add in the EMS building, and if in the future it were necessary, we would be able to include any other construction on that parcel.
It'd probably be a short link.
So it's
still
kind of,
handle the data.
it's our future, yeah.
Are you ready for a roll call vote?
Yep.
Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Beggs?
yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, and thank you, board members. Mr. Hardy, payment of claims.
Okay. Motion for board approval of accounts payable and release of funds Thursday, September 12th, 2024. Ambulance fund, $2,721.58. FOC fund, $2,194.06. Bentwater Hart Trail fund total $500. Indigent Defense Fund, $29,914.94. Canine Fund, $307.98. Criminal Justice Training Fund, $245. ARPA Fund total, $15,105.85. Department of Veterans Affairs, $11,904.67. Technology Innovation Fund, $4,714.13. Public Improvement Fund, $4,474.64. Building Department Fund, $36,101.53. For general fund total of $643,979.22. For a grand total of $752,163.60.
I'll support.
Moved by Mr. Hardy, support by Mr. Beggs for the payment of claims. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Beggs?
Yes.
Mr. Erickson?
Yes.
Mr. Walker?
Yes. Mr. Beggs, reports from commissioners or department heads?
Let's see. Always catch me off guard with this one. I don't believe I have anything to report. I've got a VA meeting right after this, so they'll be happy to hear, the approval on the building department. It kind of affects their work area there in the Griswold building, so they'll be excited to hear that. Was not able to attend the road commission meeting yesterday, but road commission's doing a lot of work all over the county. They chip sealed the whole village of Mears yesterday, and
Whole county.
yeah, they're all over
Everywhere.
with their projects. So they're I think their bond issue that they did, or bonding to do a whole pile of roads, was, I think, a really good plan. And there's some pretty nice roads throughout the county now. So
And they picked up New and Rothbury in the last month too,
yeah.
which is their local
Yeah.
Public Act 51 money.
Yeah, they did, they were talking at the last meeting that I was able to attend, just with the rain events, some of the 3 to 4 foot gullies in some of our dirt roads that they had to deal with, and probably the largest erosion issues that they've ever seen. So there was a lot of man hours, a lot of equipment, filling really big holes in a number of roads that aren't traveled often, but need to be open. So they've had their share of a lot of trees to clear in the same event. So they've been busy this summer.
Anything else for us, Mr.
I
Beggs?
think that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Beggs. Mr. Hardy?
Yeah, a couple things. And I guess it was at fault last meeting, not mentioning it. I know that when we talked with Life EMS about connecting with their CAD system and the time that it saves, that was actually in the Mason Oceana 911 budget for this year, which will carry over. And as he said, that they didn't expect 100,000. They thought there was going to be more in the $30,000 range. But I think that the management said that they would like to see that come in. It's just a time saver. Not only is it a time saver, but it also saves them from, if somebody makes us an error typing when the stuff comes in. One other thing I was going to say too, 911 signed a contract with Lake County to share the CAD system. They're still going to have their dispatch center, but they'll use our computer-aided information. And I wish I had that with me, but I don't remember what the amount was, but Lake County is actually paying for that. So they've reached an agreement with the software companies and stuff. The other thing too is I received notice yesterday that the Wednesday meeting for 911 has actually been canceled until next month, basically due to lack of things for the board to cover. The update on encryption is that my understanding is that we're very close to having both Mason and Oceana set up to do the encryption. They might be waiting for a few more radios to come in and be programmed with those templates, but it's getting close. That's been a major project. I don't remember who Mr. Scannerland is there. What's that, Facebook?
So it's Twin Lake.
Yeah. So that, once that encryption comes on board, that'll
Help tremendously.
help.
Yeah.
So initially it was said that we were gonna be dispatching Lake County.
No. Not to my knowledge. It's just they're gonna connect to our CAD service. And I think this was something that was put together a year ago. And I wish I could remember the details on it, but there was something with the software and the cost of the software that Lake didn't work on. I guess didn't get it approved fast enough, and now it has been approved.
Is that Central Square?
No, I think it is, but I'm not sure. But again, it was kind of what I think like EMS was facing, the same thing. that interface between them was.
I was just talking to one of the people on the task force, because Muskegon County has Central Square, the same as we have. It's a complete disaster.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get out of the contracts, and it's $1 million a year contract with them. and they are not providing the service. They can't even upload their UD10s, their traffic crash accidents to the state police. They had to go to buy a secondary software program to do it. And
I think this is Central Square, but I'll double check on that. I did notice too, I stopped at the sheriff's department the other day and they received their power supply backup unit. And I'm assuming since I had to park over on 4 streets over to find a parking spot, it looked like Cortez Electric was there maybe installing that or hooking it up, so. I need more parking, maybe a ramp.
Oh, right.
Anyway, that's all I have, thank you.
Mr. Erickson.
Mr. Walker, I must say that this year we had a very successful county fair. We had over 12,000 visitors to the fairgrounds this year. Our barns were full. We had an excellent auction on Thursday night. We had our midgets wrestle on Wednesday night. We had a wonderful tractor pull. It was a great Tom Ullman Memorial Tractor Pull, and a very, very busy demolition derby on Saturday night. Overall, the weather was perfect. As I had mentioned, life was present. We did have some incidents on the grounds where having our firefighter training guys there, Jack White was there with a full crew of guys. They served up some pulled pork sandwiches for us. It was very, it was nice. It was great to have everybody there like it was, and we were able to respond to those incidences. There were 3 or 4 that were necessary. One required an ambulance, and it was great to have life there to take care of that. Troy Maloney was right on the job with that one also. But 3 days of harness racing. We garnered over $130,000 in purse money through the harness racing, which most people don't realize how many dollars flow through those 3 days. But there were a few $10,000 purses in those races, and I believe 4 track records were set. So yeah, we had a great fair. Spent a good summer, and no, I believe that does it, Mr. Walker. Other than, I guess I should say, and it might be a little late, but I went to Cherry Blossom yesterday to see my mother, and we got COVID positive in that building. And I went to the medical care to deliver newspapers Saturday morning, and we've also got COVID positive in the medical care. And last report, which has been a few days now, nearly 50 people between staff and residents. So,
Paul, do you know if this is the lesser strain?
It's got to be the lesser strain along with the vaccinations. Some people, a lot of asymptomatics, and some people are having very, very light symptoms, just runny nose, maybe a little fever, nothing very, very serious. It does not look like we're in that situation, but it was kind of amazing to hear the numbers as we heard them at our MHSDS meeting. Kind of startled me to hear so many positives, but yep, I was able to put a mask on and go in and see my mother yesterday, which was wonderful, and that reassured her that things were good. But it's coming back a little bit like a fall flu.
Maybe it is the fall.
Yeah. Well, and see that maybe it is, but it's still the same strain that testing comes through, but there are more asymptomatic cases than, yeah.
Thank you, Paul. A couple things. Tracy is looking on my computer for a document that has to be electronically signed for the Council on the Aging. There was additional funding that they got for transportation from MDOT that just came up, and it had to be signed. It has to be signed by today, and we received it yesterday. So I want the board to know, it doesn't really affect us, but the board to know that we are signing that document because we
Pre-approved it.
Pardon me?
We pre-approved it, correct?
Not this one. This is an additional one. This is more funding. They found surplus funds in one of their budgets.
Perfect.
So so it counts on the 8th date. At the Oversight Committee meeting in Holland for Community Mental Health last week, it was interesting because both Ottawa County and Allegan County put in requests for $100,000 and for $68,000, I believe, for supplement grant money from the Oversight Board of Community Mental Health for sobriety courts. And I sent the original link to Tracy, and I will find out next Tuesday what that's all about, because if they're getting money for sobriety courts from the Oversight Committee and, you know, in the 5 and 6 figure, I guess if we are going to be moving forward with that, maybe we need to ask what the criteria is for.
Should.
So, other than that, Amy, do you have anything for us?
Not today.
Are you gonna tell us that you're not gonna be able to be at the next meeting because you're gonna be on a cruise in the west?
It's not gonna mention you.
You don't have to tell us. So, are we all set with this?
You're all set?
The MDOT, electronically signed, some of them I can do. MDOT is complicated, you gotta go through all of this stuff with them.
If I may, I just was looking for something on my phone, and I got an email from Amy Contreras. And it says, I was informed this morning that the new uninterruptible power supply for the data center is getting installed today. It looks like we will have 2 network internal outages. The first one should last about 5 minutes, and the last one about 20 to 30 minutes. Don't know exactly when yet, but please say it will work often, just in case.
Often.
Tracy, do you have anything else for us? Any last chance for public comments? Hearing none and nobody's jumping up and running up to the podium?